Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 25 of Yapville. We're your hosts, Taryn.
And Amanda.
And thanks for listening.
It's been a long time since we've been together doing this, so
Yeah.
also,
Also, it's been 6 months of Yapville, and we still don't really have an intro.
well, it's okay.
It's fine.
We'll get one.
Everything's fine.
We do have an intro. We used to... I miss the singing. I miss when we would incorporate Yap into songs.
Yeah, I was singing something in the shower earlier, and I was like, I can sing this, but I completely forgot what it was, which is so crazy and unusual of me, guys. I remember everything.
We were having a crisis before we started recording because I couldn't find my vape.
Amanda lost her vape, but my couch ate it, and I knew that my couch ate it because my couch is always eating things.
I checked my car twice, and Taryn's such a good friend because, you know, most people would be like, suck it up. It's only like, we're only going to be doing this for like a few hours, but she was determined I found it.
Well, I didn't want you to go home and not have it at home.
Yeah, that was, I drive right into a tree.
Yeah.
On my way home.
And I would be sad if you drove into a tree and I wasn't with you.
Oh, it's okay if we were to do it together, just not me driving alone into a tree.
Exactly.
So, Taryn, how have you been? You've been a little sicky, girl.
Yeah, so we haven't recorded in 2 weeks because something happened to me. I'm not sure what it was. Flu, virus. I was dead for like 3.5 days. I had to miss a bunch of work.
And that's not like, I knew Taryn was sick when she said that she missed work, like multiple days in a row. I was like, oh, you're sick.
Yeah.
Because this girl's a workaholic. She does not miss work.
Yeah, I had to miss my part-time job too, and I need money because I owe money to the federal government. But, you know, it's okay. And also, when I worked at the Target Distribution Center, I called out all the time. I had FMLA so that I would never have to go in, so I'm not that hard of a worker.
You are.
Anyways, I'm
glad
better
you're
now.
Feeling better.
Yeah, I'm better now. I still have like a little bit of a cough, so hopefully I can read, but...
I know, she was like, you might have to read next week. You might have to read this weekend. I was like, oh!
I think I'll be okay.
I'm glad that you're feeling better. I was like trying to subtly be like, go to fucking urgent care. But, I mean, whatever. You're okay. You're here. And
I went to urgent care when I had COVID 2 Thanksgivings ago, like 2023. I had COVID. And I went to urgent care, and they were like, it's just like 5 minutes up the street from me. They're like, you need to come back we probably went at 10 in the morning. They're like, you need to come back at 1 o'clock because you need an appointment. And we were just like, okay, because my boyfriend also had COVID. So we go back at 1 o'clock. They're like, oh, you don't have appointments. I like had like 101 fever. And they're like, you have to come back tomorrow. I was like, okay. Can you actually make sure we have an appointment booked for tomorrow then? And they did. And we like got back home and we ended up calling them and we're like, what the hell was that? Like, you guys told us we had appointments and really we didn't. Like, we literally have COVID. We don't want to keep leaving the house. We have fevers. So then I went back in the morning and luckily we could go into like the same room and have the same appointment, my boyfriend and I, but I was there for like an hour. Like, we just had to, like, wait. And I just, like, had a fever in a stuffy room. And I was like, I'm never going to fucking urgent care again. And honestly, like, I was so sick at the point you told me to go to urgent care. I don't know what they would have been able to do for me.
I just wanted them to give you, like, a Z-Pack or something, like a...
Isn't that antibiotics?
Because I'm sure that would fix everything. Antibiotics fix everything.
Yeah, but... I was on antibiotics like 2 months ago because I had a sinus infection. I don't know what's going on with me. I keep getting sick. For people who are watching visual, sorry if the phone's crooked because for some reason, I don't know, this tripod I'm using is like...
It can't handle the weight of your iPhone.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, I'm glad you're still here with us.
Thank you.
I was very nervous. Oh. I've been doing nothing for 2 weeks. Actually, it's a lie. I've completely repainted my dining room. I put a new rug in there. It is so soft.
Yeah, it looks great.
Edwin came home last night. He's like, I'm sleeping out here tonight on the floor.
That's funny.
I've been watching Yellow Jackets.
I'm so excited that you're finally watching Yellow Jackets.
You know, it's funny because you've literally sat here a few episodes ago and you're like, spoilers, blah, blah, blah dies. And it left my brain. because my brain does this miracle thing that if someone spoils a show that I'm not watching, it leaves my brain. I don't absorb that knowledge. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'll be surprised. I just can't go back and listen to previous episodes of this podcast.
Don't do that.
I know someone dies. I don't know who, but I can kind of use context clues and kind of figure it out because my friend Megan did say her favorite was Shauna. And I'm like trying to think back of things that she has said, and I'm like, my brain's working, and I'm like, stop it, stop working. I want to be surprised.
I'm excited. What episode are you on? Do you know?
I think it's 5. I just want to know what the fuck is going on. Like these shows, it's like kind of like Lost. Like you have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Mm-hmm. I also want to know what's going on.
No, you still don't know what's going on. Kind
of not really.
Cool. So one of my favorite shows of all time is Dexter. And I remember spoiler alert if no one's watched Dexter. I was on season 3 and I was talking to my brother-in-law, Bobby, and he was like, yeah, I can't believe Dexter kills Rita. It ruined everything because season 4, first of all, Dexter doesn't kill Rita, but Rita does die. Season 4 was like probably the most shocking season in like TV fucking history. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, like I know what happens. I'm still so fucking mad about that. That's why if I'm watching a show, I'm like, don't even talk to me about it. I want to know nothing. I don't even want to know your fucking opinion.
So, spoiler alert for Ozark. Forward like a minute. So Ozark is like one of my favorite shows. I caught on like later, but they were still making the seasons. So the last season came out, and have you watched Ozark?
Oh yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Okay, so the Wyatt dies. I was like distraught over that.
I loved Wyatt.
I like literally hysterically
the relationship
cried.
Was weird.
Yeah,
his character got a little strange.
He was groomed, poor guy. But so I follow this like random like health food vegan lady on Facebook or Instagram, and she posted. She goes, "Don't look at my next story because it's going to be an Ozark spoiler." So I didn't look.
Oh, you didn't look.
But
Good.
You know how like if you already watched one story and then you're clicking through stories again, you'll see it. I can't even say it because I haven't watched it. But she said that Ruth Langmore died. Oh my God! I cannot finish Ozark because I love her.
I don't even know if I should say anything, but I loved Ozark. I loved how much my opinions on... I love a show that, like, takes characters and, like, they have such different character development that, like, you start seeing them in such different lights. Mm-hmm. Like, you end up loving certain people that you used to fucking hate, and I hated what was her name? The wife?
Wendy.
I fucking hated Wendy.
What, did you end up liking her?
No, I'm just saying. But I ended up loving,
Ruth?
No, I always loved Ruth, but...
The daughter?
The dad.
Marty Bird.
Marty. I ended up loving Marty.
Oh, I went into it loving. I love
Jason Bateman. Same, but like at first I'm like, why would you put your family through this? But then in the end you love him even more.
Because you're like Jason Bateman so much.
Me too, but yeah, I did love Ruth.
Oh, I can't believe I like cannot bring myself to watch it. She's like one of my favorite characters of all time, though.
I mean, actually, you could just skip it. Nothing really amazing happens.
Ruth Langmore, I love her.
Ozark was a stressful show. I feel like every episode I'd be like there wasn't one moment I could catch my breath watching that show. Yeah. It was just constant shit.
I feel like Yellow Jackets is kind of getting like that.
I like that, though. I did watch Companion, finally. I've been talking about that forever.
I want to see it so bad.
It was fucking great. It's very not what I expected, but it's very, it's like silly. Mm-hmm. Like I laughed a few times watching it.
I watched Nora finally. I liked it.
I'm glad you watched it. I love that movie.
Yeah. I like it. Ivan, what's his name?
I think that is his name.
He's such like a gross little weasel.
Little shit, yeah. I love Mikey Madison. I thought she did fucking amazing. From like the accent and the dancing and I loved that in her acceptance speech at the Oscars? Grammys?
I don't know the difference.
She thanked sex workers, and I thought that was really sweet.
That is sweet.
Except I heard that the director of that movie's a creep, so Of course.
I mean, look at the movie. I could assume. I feel like if you have to, being a director or a producer of any movie, basically your mind is weird.
He follows like a bunch of like OnlyFans girls and like pro-Israel shit.
Ew.
Yeah, so he's
Sean Baker.
Yes, Sean Baker is a creep.
Oh, he looks scary.
It was a cute Cinderella story. If anyone wants a nice romantic movie, go watch Honora.
I feel like I've done other stuff this past 2 weeks. Like, I started painting my stairwell. Do you guys have, do you ever paint your house and there's certain sections that, the paint won't stick to it? It's, soft almost. I don't know how to explain it.
Like, the texture of the wall will be, not grainy, but, textured. But then there'll be, a section that's just, soft.
Yes.
Why?
A lot of my door frames are like that.
Around it? It's because I think, people that, what's underneath the paint, it's, spackle. It's, not drywall, but, that stuff that you put on to, cover holes and shit. Spackle.
And then I'm going to have to tape and try to, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about painting my walls on the podcast.
I will say one thing. I'm not good at many things in life.
You're really good at painting.
I do pride myself in painting. I don't even use tape.
What? I don't use painter tape, and then I go, oh, I fucked up, and now I'm going back and using painter's tape.
I love painting. I find it, therapeutic. Just 30-year-old girls talking about painting their houses. This is so fun. This conversation's so fun.
It really is.
What else have you done? Did you watch anything else besides Honora and...
I have stuff that I did, but I have it written down in my phone, so...
Oh!
Which we're recording on. Ended up watching Barbarian with my gay boys.
Yeah.
All the way through.
How'd you like that?
I am so attracted to Bill Skarsgård. He's so hot.
Yeah, I love the weird-looking boys and how...
Yeah, I love, a tall, doofy-looking guy.
Same, yeah. Bill Skarsgård is a cutie.
Yeah,
I want to see Nosferatu. He's
climb
in that
that
too.
Man.
What did you say?
I said I would climb that man.
I thought you said something I thought you said, I want a Columbine man. I was like, holy shit, girl. You're one of those people?
What are their names? Dylan and something?
For some reason, the name Chad is coming to my brain. It's definitely not Chad.
Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold.
There's, people that actually,
So...
are fans of them.
When I was in middle school, I read a book on Columbine, and it's called She Said Yes, and it was about the girl, I don't know, I guess trigger warning, about the girl who they were like, do you believe in God? And she said yes, so they killed her. Why was I reading that in middle school? Who bought that for me? And that's when my true crime obsession began.
Yeah. That just reminds me of American Horror Story Season 1. They reenact Columbine.
I don't remember that.
Remember Tate goes in with his skull makeup and he walks to the school. That's why he's
That was season 1?
Mm-hmm, that's why he was dead, because he got killed by the police.
Oh.
But he does he said, do you believe in God?
I loved season 1.
Me too. Watching season 1 for the first time, I was like, what? I was the biggest plot twist. I could not follow anything that was happening. And when I found out those bitches were dead, I was like...
I can't even remember, I loved it so much at the time, and the funny thing was, I was dating this guy at the time, and I was like, we watched it, and I was like, that was so good, I hope there's another season, and he literally said to me, there will never be another season on this show, they can't do another season. Okay, sure, they definitely couldn't.
Yeah, it's 12 seasons in.
And there's a American Horror Stories now.
Yeah,
they definitely couldn't do another. Oh my god. I had to stop. Season 2 of American Horror Story I didn't like because it was filmed so dark. I couldn't focus on it.
That's my favorite.
I hated American Horror Story Coven.
Yeah, I hated that one.
Because that was the year I lived in California and every fucking girl on this goddamn planet thought that they were a witch. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my god.
Okay, so the thing about Coven was I didn't like how happy, I'm watching American Horror Story. I want to see fucked up shit. I didn't want them to be like, all the witches of the world came together. Shut up. But I will say, iconic cast, iconic fashion. They fucking served. They did their big one. They all looked amazing.
Dylan from Columbine His birthday is September 11th, 1981. So on his 20th birthday would have been 9/11, but he died 2 years before.
Scary.
Isn't that weird? Sorry, I'm just on his Wikipedia page.
Yeah, there's like fans of them.
It's so weird. They just look like normal guys.
Yeah, and they wear their trench coats and they're like cool guys.
Yeah, real cool.
And then no school's ever been the same since, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Dylan and Eric.
School has been the same. They don't give a shit about children. Wait, you can get their journals. This is taking a weird direction.
I was just watching a documentary last night. It was called The Fox...
And the Hound.
Nope. Fox Hill Farm Murders. And it's really sad because it was in the early 90s. There was a serial killer who killed mostly gay men. It was in Illinois, but it got no media coverage. Nothing, because they were gay.
Of course.
And he killed over 25 people that were all gay men, young. The reason why they found out he was murdering all these people, it was because he would...
Was a closeted gay?
Well, yeah, he would go to gay clubs and lure them back home to his house, but they found a bunch of human remains in his backyard. Like, a ton. They said over 10,000 bone fragments they found.
Jesus.
In the documentary, they said, this is the second most human bone fragments that they found since 9/11. The second largest in the country.
What the fuck?
And this didn't get any coverage. So now, current day, they're trying to identify these bodies because police wouldn't identify them. They just gave them to a university and they sat there for 20 years because they didn't want to fund it because they were gay men.
That's crazy.
So they said if you want to get DNA swabs or any of that, the family would have to fund it. The police weren't allowing it to be funded. If you wanted to go in and get a DNA swab thinking that your brother went missing and maybe he's one, you'd have to pay for that.
That's so fucking crazy.
So I didn't get to finish the documentary, so I don't really know what happens. But the killer killed himself. So, because they found human remains in his backyard, but they knew where he was, they knew everything about him, but they said that they didn't have enough evidence to question him, even though they found human remains in his backyard. So they let him go, and he went to Canada and he killed himself.
That's crazy.
Cool, thanks.
Doesn't Dylan Klebold look like Jake Paul?
Yeah, does.
Or, I don't know if it's Logan or Jake.
No, but he looks like one of them. So just another example of how the justice system and police failed us yet again.
Yeah. It will always... I don't think it will ever change.
His name is Herbert...
Oh, well, with a name like that, I would want to murder people, too.
Herbert Baumeister is the serial killer. It's Fox Hill Barn? Fox Hill Barn? I think so.
He's scary looking.
He's scary.
Fox Hollow Farm.
Fox Hollow. All these gay men were getting murdered in the early 90s, and that's the first time I heard of it. And I'm into true crime.
It says the original investigators believe that at least 25 people were buried on Baumeister's 18-acre Fox Hollow Farm estate in Westfield, based on evidence that include 10,000 bones and bone fragments, as well as handcuffs and shotgun shells. Yeah, I'll have to watch that. Sounds interesting.
It's very sad that no one cares.
Should we get into these stories?
Yeah, we probably should.
Okay, guys, so this story is coming from AITAH. It was posted 4 days ago. The title and the first sentence kind of contradict each other, so I haven't read the whole thing. Maybe we'll figure out why. So it's titled, AITAH for telling my husband I don't ever want to do a certain act in bed ever again. My boyfriend, 25 male, and I, 23 female, have been together for a year. Early on in our relationship, when we started being intimate and discussing what we like and don't like, I told him that there was an intimate act in bed that I do not like and do not want to ever do. I have tried it with other partners and did not like it. He tried to argue and say that they, my other partners, just didn't do it right, and I should try it with him because he knows what he's doing. This went on for a few weeks, and finally I caved and did the act. As I predicted, I did not like it. I told him I did not like it, and that I did not ever want to do it again. I went into the bathroom and showered and scrubbed my skin so hard that some spots were raw and bleeding when I was done. I haven't done it since, and we have had plenty of spontaneous moments and acts in the bedroom without this one act that I don't want to do. There are also things he doesn't want to do in the bedroom, and I respect his boundaries and hard limits, so I don't ask for them. Intimacy is not fun when your partner isn't into it. It should be enjoyable for both people, shouldn't it? Every few weeks, he will hint at doing it again, but I shut it down with a firm no. We then go on for a time without bringing it up. He recently hit 25 and asked for the act for his birthday. I told him no. He then described how an ex he hasn't dated since he was 15 would do it, and said that I should try to do it like she did and I might like it. I never yelled at him before, but I just lost it. I came unglued. I'm sure I looked and sounded crazy. I told him I hate doing that and that it makes me feel dirty. I told him how I scrubbed my skin so hard afterwards that it was raw and even bleeding. I've never had trauma with the act, like no one ever held me down and forced me or anything, but I can't do it. I don't want to do it. He told me I was being dramatic, and when I felt like being rational, he'd be waiting. I've been sleeping in the spare room for almost a week. I don't know what to do or how much clearer I can be. He says that I'm being unreasonable and the asshole for not doing this one thing for him. I countered with there are intimate things I like but don't ever ask for because I know he doesn't like them, and he just said, that's different, but won't tell me how it's different. Am I being the asshole for not wanting to do it and say... Am I being the asshole for not wanting to do it and saying no when he wants this act?
Is that even a question?
Okay, so there's an edit. Edit, because some people have been asking, and it's apparently not against the rules to say.
She gonna tell us? Is she gonna tell us? Oh my god, what a queen. Oh, you're laughing so hard.
That's just the way she wrote it. Oh my god. He wants to release his bladder on his partner. Not inside, just on. I'm sorry, it just makes me so ill to think about it. Also to add, I am in the habit of calling him husband. He calls me wifey because of an inside joke we share about our first date, but he is in fact my boyfriend.
Okay, I think, in my opinion, this is something that doesn't need to be done.
No, why doesn't he just maybe buy a blow-up doll and piss on that if he wanted to do that so bad?
Why does he want to do that, Papa? That's a little concerning.
Why does he want to release his bladder on her?
Release his bladder is a crazy way to say that. Girl.
You're not the asshole. Having boundaries is normal. And him
pressuring you to doing it?
Pressure washing you. Yeah.
That is a sick and twisted individual.
And the fact that he wants you to sleep, like, I don't know if he asked her to sleep in the spare room, but he's like, come to me when you're ready. I'll be waiting. Just leave. You guys have been together a year.
Girl,
like,
I know we say this all the time.
Yeah, but
you
that's
need to leave
fucking
him.
weird.
You need to leave him. The fact he's like, come on.
And you've said no a million times, and you did it once, and you clearly didn't like it. Like, he does not see your boundaries, and he clearly does not have respect for you.
No. I feel like this could get into scary territory, and you need to leave.
I wonder if she wants to peg him.
Yeah, she should come up with something and be like, well,
come on, let me just try it, babe. Come on. I'll be waiting when you're ready.
Let me put a finger in. Just once, let me put a finger in.
The comments are, so you don't want to be a human toilet. That does not make you the asshole. That's literally the opposite of being an a-hole. That's kind of funny.
That's funny. She actually needs to leave. I'm scared for her.
Me too. Another comment is, I wonder if his kink is submission. He wants her to give into him. His lack of respect for her boundaries makes me think it's more about disregarding her than just peeing. Which again, fine. Plenty of people are into being submissive. What is an absolute no is continuing to ask after she made it clear.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I'm not kink shaming. Like, I've heard of people pissing on people before. But when someone's clearly uncomfortable with it, I don't think that's your sign to be like, maybe if I ask her enough, she'll give in.
Yeah. So we do have an update from 2 days ago.
Hopefully she broke up with it.
So 2 days after. The update is titled, Update, I'm Done. My OG post is on my page, but basically I asked if I was the asshole for not wanting my boyfriend to pee on me during intimacy. So I hope you will all be glad to know I am safe and I left.
Good.
The day I made the post, he pushed me again to urinate on me during sex. I said no and honestly got a bit mad. I told him exactly how I feel about it again, told him I hated it, I will never do it with him or anyone else, and if he can't let it go, we're done. This is where it gets scary. I have had a beautiful glass plate cake. I don't bake, but I like getting mini cakes and cupcakes and displaying them on this cake plate. When I said he either let it go or we are done, he picked up the cake plate and threw it at me.
What the fuck?
I have terrible reflexes. Dodgeball in high school is pure torture. I tend to freeze when things come at my face. I don't know what compelled me to move, but I managed to duck out of the way just in time. I had glass in my hair and all around me. If I hadn't ducked, I would have been hit by the plate. He's never done anything like that before. We both froze. He then grabbed his keys and said, I need to drive, before walking out. I don't know how long I stood there, but after a bit, I reached for my phone and called a friend from college. I broke down and told her everything. She came over and helped me pile her car with clothes, school supplies, anything I didn't want to leave behind. It felt surreal, like I was watching it all happen to someone else. Once I shut the car door, I proceeded to freak out, having a hard time breathing. I thought I was dying. Eventually, she calmed me down, and we got to her apartment, and she told me I was welcome to stay. Apparently, my friends were growing concerned and pointed out things in his behavior I didn't even notice. They were contemplating if they should say something, not knowing what was going on behind closed doors. Almost all of them came over and helped me set up the living room, which was a pullout, and one of her roommates cleared out space for my things in her closet. It is her and two others, but one is moving out in a few months. She said I was welcome to take over the roommate's spot when she leaves. She stayed with me all night and called into work because I was a wreck and didn't want to be left alone. I haven't heard from my ex at all. I blocked him on everything. Kathy and my friends all volunteered to walk me to class just in case. A few of you suggested therapy, and I'm going to look into finding one I can afford. I have a lot of things to figure out in my life, but I'm safe, and that's a good start. Thank you all for everything. Wow.
Good for her.
I'm really glad she has amazing friends that helped her out. That's scary.
Yeah, that's
like,
fucking
you won't let
terrifying.
me piss on you, so I'm going to throw a glass plate at you?
Me mad, me angry, I can't be on you. The only reaction I have is to throw. To break.
So the top comment on this post is get therapy, yes, but you also need to at least file a restraining order. Mm-hmm. Depending on the laws of your country, you could even report his sexual and physical abuse. If you had any photos of how your skin ended up after he non-consensually did that to you, so your trauma made you scrub way too hard, you could talk to a lawyer and file evidence of what type of mental damage he inflicted on you. You could also report his attacks with a plate. Anyways, get a restraining order, and you need to document the fact that he is dangerous and he could try to harm you again.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I would definitely get a restraining order. That is fucking scary. It's true. Like, you don't even want to be alone. Like, her friends are walking her to class. That's amazing. Just, like, not being in such a shitty situation and not feeling alone is a really good first step. Like, kind of like she was saying.
Yeah, good thing she has a good support system, but that's fucking terrifying. I hate men.
I hate men too. People are also commenting there's a National Domestic Violence Hotline. You can connect with the DV center in your area and they may have counseling available. God, I hate men. I hate abusers, men or women. It is definitely mostly men. But just like making someone feel so small because you can't control your emotions, like, fuck off.
It's all over a fact that she's not comfortable doing something sexually. Any normal human, man or woman, I feel like if they were to go to you and say, listen, I'm not comfortable with this thing, in a sexual nature, I'm not comfortable with this, they'd say, oh, okay, we don't gotta do it then. Go watch porn of someone peeing on someone.
Yeah. There is one more comment I want to read. Somebody said, extremely important advice. Men and women hate rejection. You leaving without him knowing and blocking him on everything could very easily be sending him into a crazy spiral.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are commenting under this. Please listen. This is important advice. Somebody said, I second this. My brother was in a very, very... I second this. My brother was in a very, very...
Wait, now you got me. Now you got me fucked up.
I'll just skip the word.
Volatile.
I second this. My brother was in a very, very I can't even say that.
Volatile.
I'm going to skip it.
I'll say it for you.
Oh, okay. I second this. My brother was in a very, very
Volatile.
and controlling relationship with his ex. They split due to his ex laying hands on my brother. Yet again, they met up for ex to collect his things. 2 weeks later, my brother was then drugged and R-worded by his ex-boyfriend. It was absolutely horrific and the worst thing we've ever seen and experienced as a family. Do not meet that dude under any circumstances. Wow.
That is fucking terrible.
Well, OP, sounds like for a shitty situation, you have a good scenario. Like, hopefully they get the restraining order.
Don't talk to him ever again.
No.
Lottie agrees.
Lottie agrees.
My next story is coming from Am I the asshole? From one day ago. Would I be the asshole if I turned off the Wi-Fi until I can't smell or hear mice anymore? Now this title confused me because I was like, smell or hear mice? I was thinking of like a computer mouse.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey guys. We had some technical problems.
When do we not have fucking technical problems?
We're back! For context, my spouse and I are both neurodiverse, and I live in chronic pain. Keeping the house clean has always been a struggle, and it's a sore spot in our relationship. We also have different standards for what is a livable amount of clutter/mess. I can handle clutter to a point, but I cannot tolerate mess that creates health hazards or attracts pests. We both work full-time, but most of the household responsibilities fall to me. Keeping a house clean sucks for everyone, but it especially sucks when you're disabled. But I'm forced to push through my limitations while my spouse refuses. As an example, I have severe low back issues that make washing dishes painful at best, but often excruciating. My spouse has sensory issues and doesn't like touching dirty dishes. Never mind that if they just went in the dishwasher right away, they wouldn't have time to get gross. So her yuck outweighs my pain. I think she has washed the dishes less than 10 times since we've been married. Because of new construction nearby, our entire neighborhood has had mouse problems this year. But everyone else has been able to get rid of them, not us. If you've ever dealt with mice, you know the only way to get rid of them is to take away any food sources that aren't in a trap. As long as you continue to leave your Taco Bell trash and half-eaten burrito next to the couch where you finished it, the mice aren't going to go away. It is to a point where I'm immediately greeted by a mouse smell when I come home from work or open the bedroom door in the morning. I hear them in the basement or behind the stove. It makes my skin crawl. What the fuck is a mouse smell?
I don't know.
Can I get an explanation what a mouse smell is?
Yeah, in the comments, please give us an explanation of a mouse smell.
The only way I have found in the past to get my spouse to pitch in on any cleaning is to kill the Wi-Fi and refuse to turn it back on for the day, which is also how I motivate the kids to do their chores/homework. I'm at a point where I'm ready to turn it off until I can't see, smell, or hear the mice anymore, even if it takes weeks. Would that make me an asshole to treat my spouse like I treat the children and take her Wi-Fi away? There is an edit to add. We have had a professional exterminator out. They have sealed entry points and set traps. But they told us that until we eliminate other food sources, the mice won't be forced to get food from the traps. In other words, there's nothing more they can do until we get cleanliness issue under control. Unfortunately, we have a lot of medical bills and can't afford house cleaners. Even if we could, they can't be here every day. I wish there was an option. It just isn't one right now. And I barely have the energy to make it through the work week and try to maintain the house as is. I don't have anything left to put into overtime, so I can't afford a cleaner. Assume that, in the short term at least, divorce is not a realistic option. Though I think we're definitely headed that way.
Well, the first thing here is they said they're both neurodiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't neurodiverse like a normal person? And neurodivergent is someone with like sensory issues?
Isn't neurodiverse like the plural of neurodivergent?
Then what is like a normie? Neurotypical.
There you go.
There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. My brain doesn't work.
So there is a top comment that says everyone's an asshole. But it says there's children living in the situation. Forget about the stupid Wi-Fi. Stop playing the blame game and get rid of the damn mice, or at least remove the children from this environment. Stop buying Taco Bell in the first place.
Yeah. Also, can you buy her gloves?
Yeah, because I also have that issue. Like, for a while now, I, like, suck it up. I'm just like, whatever, just get it fucking clean. But when I first was, like, doing the dishes, it would, like, I would like gag. Like I can't touch the fucking slimy. But for the most part now, I like clean my dishes off like with like running water before I put them in the sink, so nothing really gets that slimy. But yeah, gloves. You can get gloves like all the way up to your elbow.
Yeah, I have gloves because we have a dishwasher, but when I wash the dishes that can't go in the dishwasher, I am like a germaphobe, so I do like boiling hot water. So I wouldn't be able to clean it with my normal skin hands, so I need gloves. It sounds like all of these issues are just controllable. Like they're just doing it to themselves. Your wife is fucking lazy, and your children are in a disgusting house. Like, time to suck it up and be parents. Sorry if the food is slimy, but I agree with that comment. Stop fucking buying Taco Bell. Maybe if you didn't buy Taco Bell so often for the mice to eat, then you'd be able to afford a fucking cleaner. Whoops.
You need to set a rule in your house that no one eats food anywhere except the kitchen.
OP, you've been lucky so far, but if someone knows you or hears about the situation from your kids, they're going to call CPS. You can't allow kids to live in a home infested with mice. Tell your wife if she doesn't pick up after herself, you and the kids will have to leave. Then do that. Relatives, friends, Airbnb, find an apartment, doesn't matter. Get yourself out of the situation. I would kill. If I was in this situation, I would murder my husband.
Yeah.
I'd be like, get your ass, don't live here.
Yeah, like that should be like, I understand laziness. I'm a very lazy person, but I think if my house was infested by mice, that's like time to like...
Crunch time.
Yeah, not just be like, oh well.
You could also adopt a couple cats.
That's true, but then
you'd
who's
have
gonna
to
clean the litter box?
Yeah, true. I mean, you still have to get rid of the situation, but I feel like mice will like stay away if they know cats are there. One of the comments says, there are children. Mom is fine leaving half-eaten food lying around, and dad is using weird punishments instead of teaching the kids responsibility.
True. What's your take?
Yeah, I think maybe... I do think everyone sucks. Like, we're not hearing the mom side of the story either. And, like, I'm sorry that you have chronic back pain, but I, like, when I clean my lower back, it probably doesn't hurt as much as this guy if he has chronic back pain, but my back is screaming when I'm vacuuming my stairs. But I still do it once a week. Like, the house has to be clean.
Yeah, my back hurts every fucking day.
And when you have children, you make a fucking commitment.
That
you keep them safe.
You shouldn't have kids then. Oopsie.
Well, lots of people shouldn't have kids. I'll scream it from the rooftops.
I don't know. I think that your wife needs to get her priorities in check. And
Also, was she doing dishes before you guys were married? Because it says...
less than 10 times.
Since they've been married, though. Like, was she doing them before?
People are saying that saying it's a sensory issue is just an excuse.
I honestly do feel like that. I'm sorry.
You could wear gloves. You won't have a sensory problem.
I really do feel
Unless
like
you have a
that's an
sensory
excuse.
problem with gloves, but...
Like, your house is infested with dirty little creatures. And
is that not a sensory problem?
Yeah, you're going to say, oh, I have a sensory issue. I can't touch, like, slimy dishes. Oh, but you can step all over mouse shit?
Right.
Hello?
And I still want to know what mice smell like.
I'm not trying to be insensitive, but some of this sensory issue shit is just, like, people hearing shit on TikTok and being like...
Yes.
Oh, well, now I have an excuse. We all have our fucking issues. Suck it up. Not to sound like a boomer, but it's true.
Suck it up. Go to work and suck it up.
Pick yourself up by the bootstraps.
You're depressed? That's not real. Go outside.
Touch grass. Go on a walk.
Smell the fresh air. That cures your depression. Anxiety? That's not real.
You're having a heart attack. That ain't no anxiety attack. I taught you differently, son. All right, on to the next story. All right, so this next story is coming from Petty Revenge. It is titled, Won't Let Me Go Home Sick? I'll see you in 30 days when I pick up my cancer meds.
Oh. Ooh.
Although I didn't have control over how this revenge played out, I still smiled when I recount the story and thought it would fit here. In 2010, I worked at a corner drugstore as a department lead, back when those were relevant. I was 21 and did the bare minimum. I hated working Sundays, which were my Fridays. I will be the first to admit that I could have been a better employee, but I knew this wouldn't be my career, so I was just coasting until I graduated. Sunday, May 2nd rolls around, and I feel awful. I had not been feeling great. That Friday, I was a bit under the weather, and when Saturday came around, I felt pretty okay, but then Sunday hit like a sack of bricks. About 2 hours into my shift, I asked my manager, Ryan, if I could go home. The guys in management despise me, so I was not surprised when this particular manager snarkily responded with, "You need someone to come in and finish your shift." Edit to add, this was not policy. He was just being an ass about it because he didn't like me. Fine, no problem. I called one of my coworkers and she came in for me. My boyfriend at the time was working at a hotel down the street. We shared a car, so I went to his hotel to sleep until he got off of work. I slept in the lobby for 9 hours straight.
Oh my God.
When we made it home, I started coughing up blood. My boyfriend forced me to go to the ER that night. I was diagnosed with strep and admitted to the hospital. That Monday the 3rd, one of the nurses informed me that I'd be in the hospital for at least a week, so I called my store to let them know. The manager I spoke with, Brad, hated me more than anyone else at the store. I told him the news. And this is like a conversation between them. Brad, you'll be out for a week for strep? Me. Yeah, do you want to talk to the nurse? She's right here. Brad, no, we'll see you when you get back. He was clearly irritated by the news, but there was nothing I could do. What I hadn't told him, as I didn't know at the time, is I was admitted because the hospital suspected I had something much worse. I was visited by a doctor on Monday who explained he'd like to perform a bone marrow biopsy. I had no idea what this was or why he'd do one, except that my blood count looked weird. I had the procedure done and continued recovering from strep. Tuesday, May 4th comes, and the doctor from the day before pays me another visit. Twinkies. The person who's calling themselves Twinkies. Twinkies, we got the result of your BMB back. You have an aggressive form of leukemia that requires immediate treatment. We will be sending you to a hospital in the big city to start chemo tonight. My world was turned upside down. I called my best friends, all of whom I worked with, and invited them to the hospital to share the news. One of my friends had a shift that afternoon and broke the news to the store. Twinkies has cancer. I spent 28 days in the hospital fighting for my life. My mom had visited the store a few times during my hospital stay and talked with my store manager, letting her know what was going on. My store manager was very understanding and supportive. The other managers never said a word to me, my mom, or my friends about the situation. When I finally got out of the hospital, I went to my old store to pick up my maintenance cancer meds. As I made my way back towards a pharmacy, bruised, bald, and with a bright purple pick line sticking out of my arm, I turned down aisle 10, and who do I see? Ryan, stocking vitamins. Hi, Ryan, I shouted gleefully. The look on his face was priceless. Oh my God, Twinkies, are you okay? How are you feeling? I'm great now, thank you. It's a good thing I left early that Sunday and ended up at the hospital so that they found the cancer. The whole situation was absolutely delicious. Despite everything I went through, the feeling of complete vindication when they had to face my cancer-ridden self was incredible. I never ended up going back to work there. I had to file disability because the next 5 months of my life were week-long hospital stays followed by constant transfusions, checkups, and even a case of sepsis that almost killed me. But I still remember Ryan's face, and it brings a smile to mine. That is so petty. I love it.
That is so petty. But what is it with like retail world where like they make you feel bad always? Mm-hmm. I remember it was the anniversary of my dad's death and I had to call him to Sephora and the girl that I talked to on the phone was like, "So you're not going to come into work?" I was like, "No, I'm not doing okay." I remember one time too, I was in the ER because I had terrible like pelvic pain one day.
I remember this.
And I went into the ER overnight. And it was like the early morning still. And I was still in the fucking ER. So I called them. I called the store. And I was like, "I'm in the ER right now. I've been here like overnight." And the woman on the phone was like, "Okay, so are you calling out?" "I'm laying in an ER bed right now. No, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
That happened to me when I worked at the post office. So this is actually what made me quit the post office. I had I'm really sensitive skin. I had horrible heat rash all over my body. Like arms, legs, ass crack, like all over my body. I had horrible heat rash. And I didn't know what to do because my job was working outside in the heat and it was just getting worse. And like the back of my legs were like blotches of like red hives because it was just like rubbing against like the work seat, and like the clothes have no give. They're like not comfortable. So I ended up going to my doctor and I got a steroid, and I asked him if I could have like a few days off of work. I think he ended up giving me a week off of work so that like my body could heal. So I remember I let my supervisor know, hey, I'm going to the doctor in the morning. I have horrible heat rash all over my body. I don't know what they're going to tell me. And I call her and let her know I'm going to be out for a week. And she just was like, such a bitch on the phone. She was like, okay. And just like hung up. I was like, okay, I'll feel better. Thanks. Bye. And then that day I started looking for new jobs.
I hate the guilt. That's like a major reason why I don't ever call out unless I'm dying.
So the top comment is, great story. I sincerely hope you are in fine health now. And OP said, thank you. May 4th will be 15 years since my diagnosis, and there's no sign of it coming back. Well, I'm glad OP's okay, and I love that revenge because I would do the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I feel like the world has changed a lot since COVID, though. They're like, if you're sick, stay home.
True. It has.
It's really nice at my job because I am mostly work from home. I do have to go in the office a couple days a week, but if I don't feel good, I can stay home.
That is nice.
Like, literally, if I had, like, period cramps, I can stay home. It's not good to stay home all the time. You can't, like, take advantage of it, but my supervisor told me to stay home this past Tuesday when I was, like, working but still healing, and I'm like, that's so nice. Like, I know that you don't want to get sick, but also, like, you give a shit enough about me to have me stay home, so I'm like okay to be in public, which clearly from my voice maybe I shouldn't be in public.
Okay, time for the next one.
Your turn.
Okay, my next story is coming from my favorite best of Redditor updates, and it's titled, my boyfriend 23 male pretended to be single in front of other girls while I 21 female was standing right there. Is this grounds to break up immediately, or should I give him a chance to explain himself? Well, this was an old one. It was originally posted in 2015.
Oh my goodness.
Our first anniversary is in 2 weeks. We went out last night to a birthday party of our mutual friends. He got pretty tipsy but not wasted. I didn't drink since I was driving us home. At some point in the night, I went to go get water, and when I came back, there was a crush of people in the room, so I was standing directly behind him trying to get through. He was talking to some girl, and I heard her ask, so is that girl you came in with your girlfriend? And he distinctly said after some hesitation, no, she's just my roommate, haha. Ooh. I got really pissed off, but I didn't say anything. Just came up to stand next to him. I didn't want to make a scene at my friend's party, but he was going to get an earful when we left. He didn't even notice me for a few seconds and said something like, you're so pretty to the other girl. She noticed me glaring at him and left. I was so pissed off that I decided to walk away and talk to my friends for the rest of the night. Probably a mistake of not addressing it right there at the time, but I wanted to avoid a big scene if I could. I tried to enjoy myself. My friend, the host of the party, came up to me and asked if my boyfriend and I had broken up, and she didn't know because she had heard him telling somebody he was single. After that, I decided to go home. I was really mad. He could find a ride or crash at our friend's place. I went home without saying a word to him. This morning, I woke up to all these texts and calls from him, really pissed that I ditched him at the party without a ride or a warning. He demanded to know in an accusing voice where I had disappeared off to, as if I was the one up to some shady shit. I'm just angry and confused because this is coming out of nowhere for me. We have a great relationship and have never had a fight. He tells me all the time that he's so happy we're together and that I'm the best thing that has ever happened to him and he wants to be with me forever. And now I'm not his girlfriend, claiming he's single, flirting with other girls right in front of me. He's never done anything like that before. He hasn't even looked at other girls. I don't drink, so is this just dumb, drunken behavior that I should excuse? Should I give him a chance to explain himself or just end things now? I can't even think of a reason that he could give that would somehow make what he did okay in my eyes, but I'm willing to listen to anyone's perspective or other angles to the situation. So there's an update the same day. I texted him, you made it clear last night that you are single. I don't wait around for ex-boyfriends to give them rides home. Don't bother coming back here. He immediately tried to call me and I didn't pick up. He texted me, what the fuck are you talking about? How could he not know? My friend even just texted me and told him she'd given him an earful all morning when he woke up for being such a dickbag to me. He denied everything and said that he has no idea what she's talking about. They got into a fight about it because he stuck to his guns and claimed that he never said any of that stuff. I have a feeling he's going to pretend and said he doesn't remember or he blacked out as a way of getting his out. He said he's getting a ride back to my place now. I'm considering not answering the door. But what if he really doesn't remember? I kind of care, though. He's coming here now. What do I do?
Break up with him?
Right.
Like, there's no excuse for what he did.
No, even if he's blackout drunk. But there's more updates.
Did she say he was blackout drunk?
So people in the comments are like, do you think he was blackout drunk? And she was like, OP's in the comments saying, I firmly believe he wasn't blackout drunk because he didn't drink that much. It was 30 minutes after they first arrived. I don't think you can get blackout drunk in 30 minutes after you first arrive.
I don't either.
So there's a little small update. It was posted on the same day. He's almost here. My friend told me to talk to him just to hear the complete load of shit he's gonna unleash on you. Dump him, girl, I would. And she's known him for longer than she's known me. I'm not going to answer the door. Thanks all. And then this is the next day and the final update. It says, update number 3. I know most of you will be disappointed to hear this, but I decided to give him another chance. Just kidding. I only kid because I'm still bawling my eyes out.
Aww.
I did decide to answer the door and hear what he had to say, if only to try to understand his reasons behind it. At first he denied it, and he said that none of that ever happened, and that my friend was lying to me and she was jealous of us, and that she's always wanted him.
Oh my god, this guy sucks.
Yeah. He said he had no idea what she was talking about or why I was mad at him. I just said, I heard you say it too. He said, say what? But then he saw the look on my face and crumbled. He said that prior to us dating, he had never gotten attention from girls before, and it went to his head when it happened last night. He said that he'd always felt in disbelief because he believed I was out of his league, and it was a pure fluke that I'd ever been interested in him. Apparently, girls never approached him when we were dating, ever. So when it happened at the party, he didn't know how to react. He said he enjoyed the attention for once in his life and just went with it. According to him, he wasn't planning on doing anything, but just impulsively said whatever to keep the attention coming. He swears up and down that he just enjoyed the ego boost that came from girls being interested in him.
Ew.
And he would never ever cheat on me. In his mind, he thought it was harmless because he knew he would never let it go further than feeding his ego. And that if he had known that I would hear, he would have not done it and it risked hurting me.
So what else would he not do if he knew you could hear?
Right. At this point, I started to cry because to me, it was such a stupid reason to throw away what we had. I know some of you will say I should forgive him, but I just can't. He broke my trust in him. Honestly, he hurt my pride. I want a guy who can handle some other girl showing interest in him with maturity and respect. A guy who loves me so much that he would never dream of leading a girl on for attention because I feel like my attention should be enough. Someone who's proud to point at me and say, sorry, I'm taken and she's a great girl with no regrets.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you deserve, OP.
Right, that's
There's
not
so
that
many
hard.
other people out there that would treat you like that.
It's not that hard to be like, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah. Like, clearly you're not saying you have a girlfriend for a certain reason.
Exactly.
Because what are you getting out of that? Why do you want other people to pay attention to you and like, give you attention?
In that way.
In that way, when you have a girlfriend that's probably giving you attention.
Right.
Is that not enough for you?
I guess not. It's never enough for men. I told him that I thought it was a really stupid reason to damage our relationship, and I guess it must have sunk in that I was planning to leave him. He broke down crying too and begged me to please try to forgive him because it was a stupid drunken mistake. It was so hard to stay strong, but I was very angry with him. I cried so hard because he tried telling me he loved me more than anyone, and he just was stupid, drunk, and inexperienced and wish he could take it all back. I said I was glad he realized his mistake, but if he really loved me more than anyone, then he really needed a better way to show it than pretending I don't exist to other pretty girls. He got hysterical and just started saying, I'm sorry, I can't lose you, please forgive me.
Oh, God.
Oh, I hate when they turn into babies. I'm sorry. I told him that I thought his actions last night were honestly pretty pathetic and disgusting, and they changed my view of him. I told him that it was sad that he would throw himself after a girl and just lie to get a few minutes of attention, and that I didn't think it was a good enough excuse to say, that never happened to me before, so I don't know how to handle it. What would happen next time? How could I trust him to act appropriately and control himself? He said that he learned from this and he'll do better next time, but honestly, I just couldn't get over it. He made me feel worthless as his girlfriend and something he had to hide to get the attention of another woman because my attention wasn't adequate. So I told him not to talk to me anymore. I'm leaving a box of his stuff on the porch and he can get it without telling me. Then I laid on my couch and cried with my dog until I felt sick. I don't want to be with a guy who values our relationship so little. I feel better today. It sucks not being in a relationship anymore, but I feel like I deserve better. He's been blowing up my phone saying he's been at home crying and he loves me so much. I'm just waiting for him to pick up the stuff so I can block his number.
Why? Just put it on your porch. Fucking block him now.
That's what she did. She put it on the porch, and she's just waiting for him to text her to tell her that the stuff's taken.
Who cares if he gets it? Someone else can have it.
Right.
Well, OP, obviously, like, breakups really suck, and they're really hard, and I'm sure she's also, like, she's upset, like, probably about the breakup, the disappointment, and potential cheating, like...
Well, the part that really gets me is that he was denying it, like, oh, she's just making that up until she's told him, well, I heard it, and then he was like,
can't trust him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now the story changed.
It's crazy.
At first it was, I didn't say that, she just wants me. To then saying, oh, well, maybe I did, but it's just because it's never happened to me before. So what would happen if a girl tries to fucking kiss you? Would you not stop because...
It's never happened to me before.
Oh, this is new. And then to, like, cry like a little man-child. I hate that. Stop fucking crying. Stop, please, shut up.
Yeah, seriously, did it himself. But I just am saying, like, I feel bad for OP, like, she's crying for, like, a multitude of reasons.
Yes.
And it's gonna suck, but girl, it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
And you're gonna find way better.
She's crying because she loved him, and he disrespected her, and he's crying because he got caught.
Yeah.
Scumbag.
That was from 2015.
It was from 2015, and it was only posted 16 hours ago on Best of Redditor updates, so...
Someone's sleuthing.
I know.
So this next one I have is coming from True Off My Chest, and the title is, I couldn't find a single trace of this place I knew was real. Now I know why. So, the story is... For the last 6 months, I've been trying to track down a place from my childhood that I remember vividly, but couldn't find any evidence of it online. I went to a private Christian school for kindergarten in 2011. Oh my god, this person's so young. And it was more of a daycare than anything. I distinctly remember spending most of my time there running around outside, playing educational computer games, and watching live performances in a small auditorium. The theater was clearly built for children, resembling a set piece from an early to mid-2000s cartoon, bright, saturated colors, fake doors, balcony, and ladders. If you've ever watched Lazy Town, that was the aesthetic.
Ooh.
Performers would put on short skits and toss us candies and bags of chips like we were animals. It was great. This memory stuck with me more than anything else, and eventually, I decided to do some digging online. I wanted to see if I could find pictures of the weird little theater, just to confirm it was real. But no matter where I looked, Facebook, Yelp, YouTube, there was nothing. Not a single shred of evidence that it had ever existed. It was like trying to recall an old faint dream. To be clear, this wasn't some tiny, obscure school in the middle of nowhere. When I attended, and the complex primarily functioned as a large church, but the pictures I could find online felt bizarrely unrecognizable, unfamiliar in a way that made me question my own memory. The auditoriums were painted different colors than I remembered, and students were now wearing uniforms. Perplexed, I considered calling the school itself to see if I could set up a tour as an alumni, for nostalgic purposes, of course. My only goal was to know if the theater existed or if my memory was playing tricks on me. It was genuinely bothering me to the point that I was asking friends and family for advice. How could something so specific, so deeply ingrained in my childhood, just vanish? But social anxiety was stronger than nostalgia, and I never made the call. Eventually, I gave up. I started to wonder if I had imagined the whole thing. If maybe my brain had distorted some random, unremarkable room into something grander than it was. Maybe I saw the theater in some other context and misattributed where it was from. The thought was frustrating and disappointing, but after months of searching, I let it go. Yesterday, I was going through one of my old cabinets to grab a new notebook and found a coded, glossy yellow yearbook for the name of the school I did not recognize. I was ecstatic to find that this was, in fact, my kindergarten. I was even more delighted to find pictures of the theater and stage that I had been so desperately trying to recover. It was exactly how I remembered it, down to the color palette and the setup of the room. It was almost eerie how perfectly my memory lined up with photos, like I had just been there yesterday, and it hadn't been over 12 years. Then I realized the name of the school printed on the front of the yearbook wasn't the one that I had been searching this whole time. When I looked it up, I found barely anything, just a handful of outdated listings marking it as permanently closed, and the only traces left were buried in old reviews. Most of them Angry and disillusioned, as it turned out, the school, a Christian organization, was taken over by a larger organization and what many people described as corporate-style merger. The new leadership had wiped away the past, remodeling everything, replacing old spaces with bigger, more modern auditoriums, and discarding the original vision entirely. That was my answer. The theater had been real, tangible in the decade-old photos I found. But it was gone, erased with the rest of the school I remembered. I felt almost disappointed that I had spent so much time and energy towards an unsatisfying conclusion. And even then, I don't truly know what happened. It was frustrating. I'm happy to finally have some closure, but my mind has difficulty understanding that something so special to my childhood doesn't physically exist anymore. It makes me wonder, how many childhood places have disappeared without us realizing it? I'd love to hear your stories.
Stomping grounds.
Oh my god.
Right? With the snake roller coaster.
So, when I was, like, maybe 7 years old. So, where Amanda and I grew up, there's this place called Stomping Grounds. And it was like a little mini amusement park inside a building.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I was there all the time.
So, one year, I was probably around 7 or 8. My friend, like my best friend at the time when I was younger, had a birthday party at Stomping Grounds.
I remember birthday parties at Stomping
But
Grounds.
we were supposed to sleep over inside Grounds,
What?
inside the building. Yeah.
That's a little weird.
Which isn't that... They must have had like an overnight employee or something.
Because it wasn't... There's like no beds in this place. It was like a little cafeteria eating area, and then the rest was like an amusement park. But where'd you even sleep?
I can like not... I just remember like an empty room. But, so long story short, we're supposed to sleep there, and the fire alarms go off, and a fire truck comes, and an ambulance comes, and we couldn't sleep there anymore, and they had to bring us in the ambulance back to my friend's house, and we all, like 10 little kids, slept in like this tiny apartment living room.
What the fuck happened?
I don't know, but...
I think it was like a CO2 meter or something.
Maybe. Can you imagine if like a bunch of little kids died in...
Stomping Grounds?
Why do I feel like it was called Jeepers?
I think it was called Jeepers.
Jeepers had the snake roller coaster. I think
and
this
it was in the plaza, the next to Walmart. What's there now?
Planet Fitness.
Cool.
Yeah, it was Jeepers, not Stomping Grounds.
What the fuck is Stomping Grounds? Hold on.
And there was Hoffman's Playland. I went there all the time when I was a kid.
This was Stomping Grounds.
Okay, I remember that. So that was different. That was almost like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, Jeepers is definitely different.
But I went to birthday parties at Stomping Grounds too.
Bring back Jeepers for
There's
adults.
a roller coaster wiki, and they have... So Jeepers was from 1997 to 2010.
Is that what you were thinking too? Did I like...
Oh, like my childhood memory? I think of Jeepers. Hoffman's Playland.
I didn't really go there.
I went there a lot. Do you remember when White Birch was like a animals?
Yeah.
And you could... So there's this place called White Birch in the town we grew up in, and you used to like feed animals there. They had a donkey. Yeah. And now it's like old people apartments.
They always take away cool shit for stupid shit. All right. Let's move on to my last story because I really have to pee. But wait, before we continue, if anyone has any memories from upstate New York, well, any and all, but...
If anyone has any kind of memories, I want to hear outside of where we grew up.
But I want to relate, so...
Yeah, guys, comment your memories from when you were a kid that no longer exist because of capitalism.
Yeah, they could turn to a Planet Fitness or old people apartments. Okay, my last story. I have to pee so bad, so I'm going to try speed running this.
Wait, also, Hoffman's Playland is apartments now, too.
Why is everything apartments? Stop. This story is coming from Am I the Asshole from a day ago. Am I the asshole for calling my husband a selfish wimp? The other day, I, 28 female, had a huge fight with my husband, 28 male. We'll call him Larry for the story. Fucking Larry. Larry's parents were in town last weekend visiting my brother and sister-in-law, and they wanted to see our kids as well before they left. His parents and I have a strained history and have admitted that they don't like me. Cool. I have set boundaries with them that they don't like. Despite a lot of things that have happened, my husband and I believe that our kids deserve to have a relationship with them and that the strained relationship between us shouldn't affect that. So before they left for the weekend, Larry decided to meet up with them at a local Chick-fil-A to chat and let the kids play. I decided I wouldn't come so that they could enjoy it. My in-laws also decided to bring my nephew along so the cousins could all play together. When my family came home, Larry told me that our nephew ended up peeing his pants on the playground at the restaurant. I cringed and said something along the lines of, "Oh, that sucks. Did anyone step in it? Did they get it cleaned up before it got messy?" And he responded, "I don't know. We left without telling anyone." They were closing and no one else was in the playground when we left, so my parents didn't think it was a problem and just to leave it.
Ew.
I was shocked, speechless. I asked him if he told one of the workers that there was pee up there. He said no. It wasn't his responsibility because it's not his child. He said his parents were taking care of my nephew, not him. In past conversations we've had, Larry has always been very dedicated to the idea that people should be able to make their own choices in life and that we should all respect their choices, even if we don't agree. In the past, I have found this very endearing because I agree that people deserve respect and love despite their path in life. However, this situation made my blood boil. Who leaves pee on the playground without telling anyone?
Yeah, that's
like
a health
hazard. We got into a huge argument. I ended up yelling at him for being selfish and for caring more about his mother's fragile ego instead of caring about the kids and employees that will be at the Chick-fil-A. I kept calling him selfish, and he said that I'm being an a-hole, not respecting other people's decisions, and I'm just very against him and his parents when they are together. His brother and sister-in-law agree that it wasn't that big of a deal to leave the pee.
I'm calling Chick-fil-A. I'm on the phone.
This has been an ongoing battle for a few days now between me and Larry. I've had some time to cool off, and I feel really bad about calling him selfish, but also still feel like it wasn't wrong. He should have told someone, right? Or am I the asshole? Larry told me about the pee. This is funny that I have to pee and I'm reading this.
That is funny.
Larry told me about the pee because he was disappointed in his parents. He told me by saying something along the lines of, "It was crazy because nephew peed at the playground and my parents didn't tell anyone. Was it cleaned? Was it messy, etc." Then I got upset when he said he didn't say anything either.
I really want to know if she called Chick-fil-A to be like, "Hey, when you get there in the morning, there's going to be a puddle of pee," because I feel like it's almost her responsibility now because these people are idiots. It's a health hazard.
Well, I wonder, they said that they were closing, so I'm sure she called, no one was there. But she could have called in the morning.
Yeah, leave a message, call in the morning.
And been like, "Hey, my stupid husband was there with this stupid family and they fucking pissed."
They all pissed in the pile.
They all pissed in the
they
ball.
were splashing around in it like a fish out of water.
They pissed in the ball pit, so just so you know. Not an asshole at all. It's like unethical and a problem, like a health. Would you want your little Tommy to be swimming around in piss? Probably not.
Also, not if it's a puddle, it might not dry by morning. 1, you don't want your kid playing around in piss. 2, you could slip and get hurt, especially if it's high up. Top comment is not the asshole. I just really don't understand why he wouldn't inform an employee. I don't care if the kid wasn't his responsibility. Even if I see a stranger's kid pee all over a play structure, I'm 100% going to tell an employee if their parent doesn't. It's not like there would be consequences for informing them. The fact that they were all unbothered to just leave is disgusting.
Someone said, as a retail worker who has come across some unpleasant messes left by customers who left without a heads up, fuck your husband and his whole family. So disgusting and entitled. Absolutely zero respect for others who exist in public spaces.
Someone said, "I think OP should pee on the bathroom floor and leave it for her husband to walk
That's
through."
amazing. My friend Justin.
Pee on his mother's floor.
My friend Justin, shout out Justin, has told me and sent me pictures of some of the horrific things that he would see when he was a lead at Kmart.
I remember my friend Olivia when we were in hair school. Before we were in hair school, so it was a really long time ago, but she worked at a TJ Maxx, and she said, or Marshalls or something, and she said that people would shit in the...
Yeah.
What? That's insane.
They would finger paint with their shit.
I remember at Sephora, kids would just dig their claws into the eyeshadows.
Okay, I'd rather deal with that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But there's been multiple pictures Justin has sent me of a toilet bowl.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Wait. With poop all over it, but the underwear in the toilet bowl.
Did he have to clean it? I wouldn't.
I think it was he's supposed to, but I don't think he fucking did. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't.
I don't think retail employees should have to clean that.
No.
I think if you ruin it, that bathroom's done forever.
Yeah,
or a manager who gets paid enough. Nobody gets paid enough.
They should just put fucking what is that called? Like the do not cross tape,
Yeah.
hazard tape,
Yeah.
caution tape across the toilet, and that's it. Just close it out. Get rid of the toilet.
I remember one time I was shopping with my Nana at Walmart and I had to pee really bad. I was younger. And I remember every single stall was...
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like that all the time.
Bathroom.
It's like that all the time.
I was like, guess I have to hold it.
I don't understand why it's like that. I went to the movie theater, and usually in movie theater bathrooms, I'm like, these are pretty good. Every seat, there's blood and one all over the seat. There's disgusting. Like, do people do this in their homes? Just like piss and shit all over the fucking bowl?
I never thought
leave
about
their
it
fucking
that way.
tampons on the fucking toilet? Like, girl, what?
Oh, dude. One time when I worked at the Target Distribution Center, I fucking went to the bathroom.
Is this when you threw up?
No, that's another time. I went to the bathroom. I get up. I go to flush with my foot, because in public I always flush with my foot.
Yep.
There was a fucking used tampon behind me. I didn't touch it. There was like space in between me and the toilet, and like where it was on the toilet. But I went out and just told my male supervisor, told the first person I saw, I was like, it's fucking disgusting. Someone has to go clean
That's
that
like a
up.
health hazard.
I'm like, ugh.
People are fucking disgusting. Like that commenter said, people don't respect
Exist
people
in public spaces.
Exactly. That is so fucking true. Even remember when we were at Sephora and the toilet was broken in the girls' bathroom for literally like a fucking month?
I just remember
Who the fuck blew that shit up for a fucking month?
One of us.
We had to use a public bathroom, which was traumatizing. I would literally
I don't remember that.
Yes, the bathrooms next to the office like were closed.
All of them?
The women ones.
Like every single stall?
They were shut, yes.
Where did we wash the brushes then?
Well, you couldn't use the toilets.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that. Was I gone by then?
Maybe. No, because I don't... Patrick knows what I'm talking about.
Patrick. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. Please share with a friend. I'm working on getting stickers made with a QR code so that I can hand them out to people so that Yapville can get some more fans. But yeah,
Love
guys,
you guys. Thank you for listening to us.
even if you just share with like one person. I'm trying to build up our social media, trying to get our name out there, and I don't know what else to do at this point. I've just been begging everyone. But we love you guys. We appreciate you. We love our fans. So if you love us back, tell somebody about us. Okay, bye.
Bye.